Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today is March 18th. We shall start the meeting. It's 6:03. Looks like we have everyone here. I don't think anyone's missing. So we start off with audience of citizens. If anyone is here that wishes to speak in the audience of citizens, now is your time. You have to state your name, address, and the floor is yours. I know we have a guest here, so are you going to speak? I'll unmute you. Go ahead. You're free. Anybody speaking?
Yes,
Okay.
myself.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
My name is Jose Munoz, and I represent the seniors in Berlin. And I'm here because I attempted to belong to the committee that you represent there. And well, I'm going to have to wait until it's vacant. In the meantime, I will attend as many meetings as possible because I want to be abreast of what's going with the golf course in our town.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions or anything for us now, or no?
Not really, because I want to see how this meeting develops so I can learn things. And then if I have an input, I will let you know.
Okay. Now you you can only speak at audience of citizens, so
Yes.
I just want you to know that.
Yes.
Okay. But welcome aboard. You're welcome to join every meeting. We invite you, and we're happy to have you. Thank you.
Peter, can I have clarity on that? Jose, is that the senior golfers or just seniors in Berlin?
No, the senior golfers.
Okay. Very good.
I'm the president for last year and this year.
Very good. Thank you.
And I knew that we had a representation, but then that went away, and I took it upon myself to find out what's going on so that if I have an input and I have any complaints, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you so much. Welcome. Okay. Mr. Pulcini just joined us. Hey, Joe. All right. With that said, we'll take everyone got the meeting minutes from last month, I'm assuming, and everyone's read them. All right, good. Any omissions or corrections that anyone has? Good. All right, Jim, we could use a motion.
Make a motion to accept the meetings from last month.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? All right, good. Old business. The advertising plan. We had a presentation from Tyndall Marketing last month, and from what I understand, we did retain them. So either Mark or Jerry, you want to speak to that, please? Jerry, I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Pete?
Yep, I unmuted both you and Mark.
Okay. All right. So we, Mark and I, had a meeting with Deirdre, came over to the golf course, and she further explained in more detail her proposal that she presented to the golf commission at last month's meeting. Mark and I talked it over, and we are of the opinion that we would like to retain her services. We like what we heard, and so we haven't given her any money yet. We have started the process in setting her up as a vendor, but she's reached out to me. She's going to be doing a biography of, myself, Mark, the commissioners, I'm sure. So I did provide her some information with regards to myself. And with that, I'll let Mark take over because maybe he can elaborate further as to what Deirdre's proposing to do.
Okay. Jerry, I'm under the impression she's already working for or with us.
Yes, but we haven't given her any money yet, but she is, right. We're setting her up as a vendor. Yeah, correct.
Basically, she's set up her team to run all our social accounts, and she's starting newsletters for us, and she's starting the process of preparing for the year of advertising and marketing for us. Both Jerry and I agreed She was very impressive and something we've never really seen before. And we both agreed that we'd like to work with her to represent Timberland Golf Course.
Go ahead, Gail. Gail, let me unmute you.
I had a question. Is her focus solely on social media, or will it go beyond that?
It's basically everything we've done, blast emails, social. It's gonna have more attention than we've ever given it.
No, I understand that, but she's not, at this point, there's no plan for newspaper ads, magazine ads, changes to the website. She's not doing that.
She's working with the website, but no newspaper or TV ads.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone? Any other questions? Go ahead, Jim Norton.
What are you looking to gain out of this, Mark and Jerry? I mean, considering that tee times have basically been booked up, and there's not a lot of availability of free tee times. What are we trying to achieve? Are you looking down the future after COVID, like next year, or the year after?
I would say yes. I think we're just basically showcasing our golf course, our clubs, our organization, our leagues, our staff. We're basically showing our value to our customers because you're right. There's not much more we can do in terms of booking more players. But I think we're going to get a whole lot more out of what she's going to provide us than we would on a 30-second ad or in a newspaper, just because we're really not running any specials either. So there's really nothing to promote on the media side. So she's basically going to showcase everything we have, show our value, and I know we bumped our rates, so we need to justify that. Jerry could probably speak.
Yeah. And Jim, to your point, we're looking not just short term, but more long term. Granted, we are full. I mean, there's not much more we can do as far as filling the tee sheet or numbers, but I don't really want to just go away and have people lose sight of us, even during this pandemic, which is, which has allowed us to prosper, so to speak. So I think it's a good idea to keep up with people, especially the market we're trying to target, which would be millennials and the way they look at things and how they get their news, advertisements, so forth and so on. So I think it's a good short and long-term plan that would benefit the course, again, not only short-term, but in the long term as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Sebi, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. Will this include anything with the restaurant, with Ramsey's restaurant? Any specials that like he's having during the week, or will it also include anything that the men's club, ladies clubs, seniors, anything like that? Or is it strictly Timberland Golf, or is it going to be everything involved with Timberland?
It's going to be everything. She's already reached out to Ramsey to see what specials he has, maybe take some pictures of his dinner offerings, and she's going to do something for him. She's reached out to, I know, a member of the men's club, a member of the senior men, the ladies club, and the Lady Niners. So she wants to basically showcase every organization we have and what they can offer, and whoever represents them on the entertainment side of things can definitely reach out to her anytime with any events they're running or promotions they're running. And basically we're trying to attract more members of these organizations because they are our regular customers who will be here after COVID, and when things settle down a little bit.
Good. That's good. Thank
Hey,
you.
Mark, should we, is it a good idea for anybody who wants to get a hold of her, or should we go through a point person per se, and have one person of contact for this company? I'm just throwing it out there. Probably make more sense to have.
Let me know and I can pass it along if that's easiest.
I agree with you, Peter. Point of contact should be Mark. I'll make a recommendation to that right now.
Yeah, this way here they have a uniform flow to the way they handle things, and You know,
He has
so
no problem if you contact her directly, though.
okay. Well, as we, you know what, as we get to know her better, we will do that. Hopefully, you know, because I'm sure she said she's going to come around once a week, so maybe we can set up one-on-ones with her with the commission and things like that over the next couple of months. But hopefully, this will all work out. It looks very promising. Anything else on this topic? Great. Hearing none. New business. Sebi, you wanted to add something to the agenda, correct?
Yes, correct. I wanted to add on there on the list tonight, the CSGA 2021 pandemic protocol for Connecticut golf courses.
Okay. Jim, can you make a motion to add
I'll make
that
a
to our
motion
agenda?
to accept Savvy's request for new business on the CSGA protocol for 2021.
Second.
Second.
That's Mr. Pulcini. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay. So added. Why don't we just start with that, Sebi? Since your hand's up, you could put your hand down. By the way.
Yeah, and Mark and Jerry, I'm not sure if you received anything from the CSGA concerning the pandemic protocol for this year, but I made a call this afternoon to the CSGA, and they basically told me that they're working with the governor's office, and they're working with the lobbyist involved with the CSGA to come up with the latest protocol. But they did indicate to me that whatever is out there right now should be continue to use it until this new protocol comes out. She said that most likely will come out within a week and will go directly to the golf courses. This is what she told me today. So I don't know if you guys heard anything directly from the CSGA.
Seb, Mark and I both get the latest and greatest emails from CSGA. So to answer your question, we haven't received anything new since our last email, which, you know, things changed a little bit, but it is a very fluid situation. And I would assume that in the coming weeks that things will continue to change, maybe, you know, most certainly for the better, I would hope, you know.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
Yeah.
But they do have out there, and I don't have it with me, but there's a document that's out there currently that came out on February of this year concerning the reopening of Connecticut. And basically they talk about golf in there as one of the sports. All right. And I think that's more towards the high schools. I think that's my take on it, but I might be wrong. So you might want to take a look at that. And I have the link to it. I could probably send it out. Peter, that's the one I sent you
Yep.
to this afternoon.
Yep. You could send that link out, Seb, if you want.
Okay. All right. That's all I had.
Thank you. All right. Next on, we're going to approve two $500 donations for the 50th anniversary. Yes. Who's going to speak to that?
Well, I'll speak to that, Pete. You've got
Okay.
two $500 donations, one being from the Lady Niners of $500, obviously, and the other being from Economic Development in Berlin through Chris Edge. I don't know, and the reason I put the Economic Development back on, I don't know that John ever came before you with that last summer. Everybody's of the opinion at Town Hall that he did not. So we did receive a check from Economic Development, and I just wanted to do everything correctly. So I'm just putting it on there because he didn't, you know, have it when he should have had it last summer. So those are the,
we were not aware of. I wasn't personally. I don't know. Gail, were you aware of?
Yeah,
of
the
Chris
committee, he had, if I'm remembering correctly, he informed the committee. We didn't approve the commission didn't approve any of the donations. It was a matter of the 50th anniversary committee, which is a separate committee than this, would take in the donation and report back to this group who made the donation. But we didn't have an acceptance policy.
okay. It's my understanding, speaking with Kate Wall, that any donation that's made needs to go through the Golf Commission. That's step one. Golf Commission approves it, and then I take it to council for their approval. That's the correct way of doing it.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. We, when we started the anniversary committee, we took in all of these donations and none of them went to town council. So
Yeah.
maybe the whole list can go now that it's hopefully complete. If need be.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're good with those two.
Okay, so
Peter, I have a question.
go ahead, Jim.
If and correct me if I'm wrong, if last meeting we said that basically that there really is not going to be a 50th anniversary due to COVID, and we're not even having last year's, what are we going to do with this? You know, you're taking the monies in, the funds in. So what's the plan for the funds?
Well, the last meeting that Jerry, Mark, Jim and I had, we talked about, and I think we reported it out here in our last meeting, of perhaps purchasing something for the golf course, something permanent, and acknowledging the sponsors.
The flagpole or whatever. You know, we got, you know, whatever, yeah, something to that effect. Yeah. Okay.
Was one of the things that's being looked at, and Jerry was doing some research on that. But a final decision hasn't been made as to what we're going to do, but that's the thought at this point.
Go ahead, Jim Green. Jim, hold on, let me unmute you. Go ahead, Jim.
For the clock that they were going to put up for the 50th anniversary.
We were looking at a clock, yeah.
Okay.
But I think, Jerry, you have information on the pricing of those things, don't you?
Correct. Gail, well, we were looking into a clock similar to the clock on Farmington Ave where the gazebo is. So I reached out to Doug Solik, head of facilities, and said, you know, Doug, where did you get it and what did it cost? And I contacted the people that he purchased it from, a company up in Mass. That clock that you're seeing downtown was a $15,000 clock. So I did reach out to the company, very, very nice people up in Mass. And I told her, you know, that just was out of our realm of possibility. So I said, look, this is what we've got. What can we get? And she sent me over some literature. And quite honestly, not a whole heck of a lot, at least from that company. So can we do something if we wanted to continue down the road of the clock on a pedestal? I think we can. I'm looking at the quote right here, but it's going to be close, and it's going to be close. So with these two, or the one $500 donation, which has already been included in the T-Sign account, the other 500 will be added to it. You're going to be close. You're going to be close to buying a bare bones pedestal type clock, a one-sided clock. So it's going to be close. It can be done. And there, like Gail is saying, we can explore other options as well.
I also think we haven't included, or to my knowledge, received the donation from the men's club. That was $1,500, because Pete just said, let us know when you want it. And we weren't anxious for the money because we hadn't decided what to do, but that's another $1,500, I believe.
And did Manzi, have they paid you? They have. The
Lady
Joseph
Niners
Manzi
did
Foundation, they
500.
did? Okay.
So I think in total, because we have to pay back the 4,000 that we took from the CPI, I think we're at, with including the men's club, and please check my numbers, I think we're at $6,100.
No, Gail, if you were to, your current balance with Chris's $500 check, not including Lady Niners, is $74.39.
Oh,
That's
okay.
including-
there must have been something in there.
Yeah, that's including economic development, which has already been accounted for. What hasn't been accounted for is the Lady Niners $500. And we have not included, obviously, the $1,500 from men's club. So you're looking at another couple $1,000.
Okay,
So that would bring you up to
94.
$94.39, yeah.
Okay.
In which case, now you can, if you so choose, now you can go get yourself a clock.
And what do you have to pay? You have to pay back 4,000, or is that after?
That's already taken out, Jim. That money was
Okay.
transferred back
Okay.
into CIP.
Okay.
So that would be the current legit balance.
Okay.
Again.
And
we
these
don't
would
have
come
that-
with, these
we
would
don't
come
have
with
the- I'm sorry.
This would come with some sort of plaque with the sponsors' names on them, right? I mean, we have to acknowledge the sponsors,
Well, that you would have to have made up separately. That does not.
which is fine, but we would have to display that along with that item.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, so we need to we need a motion to approve these two, Jim.
Motion to approve the 2 donations that were spoken of earlier. One,
Seconded by Nancy Berger. Any discussion? More discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. So moved. All right. The senior men's schedule. Did everybody receive that schedule?
Yes.
Okay. We just need a motion to approve it.
Motion.
There's nothing
Motion to
blaring
approve
on
it?
there
Yeah,
that
no.
looks good. Mark, that's all workable on your end, right? That's pretty much what they do all the time, right?
Yeah, we go over the dates that don't work and then the ones that do, and that's the final schedule we came up with.
Perfect. Okay. Jim?
Motion to approve
The senior men.
the senior men's schedule, yes.
Second.
Second by Seb. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay. St. Paul donation for a foursome. Did you guys get to go to that link and just check it out? I mean, we do St. Paul every year, and every year we talk about having them, hoping that they come back for us for a tournament, and that may happen. But St. Paul they do junior clinics with us now, right, Mark? Don't they? Yeah. And how many kids? We get a lot of kids from St. Paul.
They probably have about 15 kids at the clinic. They
Yeah.
do a spring and a fall clinic.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is something we approve every year. Does anyone have a reason why we shouldn't approve this?
No.
Okay, Jim.
I'll make a motion to approve the donation to the St. Paul's for the St.
Second.
Paul's request.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. So moved.
Peter, can I make a comment? Because Jerry may not realize this in his new role. What we were doing is keeping track of any certificates that had been given out when they came back in. And that was a report that the town council had requested on a periodic basis. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but if a certificate came in, Mark would let John know and it would go on this running list. I don't know if you still have that running list electronically or whatever, but it's just amazing to me that I think out of all the certificates I've never seen one be returned, which is kind of surprising, but apparently that's what the report said. So I hope that would continue because I think it's important to be aware of that. And as they say, the council did ask for that.
Here's the process is when I get one of those in, I submit it in my daily reports that I, drop off in your office there.
Yep.
Once they get to finance, I don't know what they do with them, but I've definitely gotten multiple in. I don't know why the report would show 0. So finance.
Mark.
Finance probably has the ones that have been redeemed because there probably were 5 or 6 last year that were redeemed.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Gail. Appreciate that. All right. Update on the course opening.
Okay. Mark and I have been meeting and we were at first looking to open this Sunday. We were waiting to see what today's and tonight's weather brought us. When I left the course, I looked at the weather station. Up until that point, we were just under a ½ inch of rain from the rain we received today so far. I don't know if snow is going to be an issue watching the weather at 5 o'clock, but I do know the water is an issue. I don't personally, I don't see us being able to open this Sunday with the amount of rain we're getting between tonight, and if we were to get that little bit of snow towards the end of it. So I was thinking more towards a next Wednesday opening. I don't
Good
think,
question.
Go ahead,
Monday,
Jim Norton, please.
Monday is supposed to be in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the warmer is really going to start come Saturday afternoon.
correct.
You know, and Mark, you know, I think Mark said it best in one of his in his report that, listen, we're already 3 weeks behind, and you know, right now I think it's going to be every day counts at this point in time. So you know, what's left to be done? That
Well, the problem is, I mean, we went from, you know, snow to ice to the flowing rivers where you really couldn't even get a piece of equipment out on the course. You couldn't, especially on greens and certainly on fairways. So the plan would be for Monday to go like hell and to get everything prepped as best we could and to get them all on the greens and get them blown off and you know, go from there. You just couldn't. Things were just first we went from frozen to it being a swamp. So this isn't helping the situation, this rain that we're getting now.
you think some of that has to do with the time that people are coming in? That, I mean, it's lighter later than a day and it gets warmer. Coming in at 6
No.
o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning doesn't do anybody any good.
No, I mean, when the course is wet, the course is wet. You know, I mean, it was when we were grinding stumps a couple of weeks ago, the rivers were flowing down 13 green, down the, you know, 8 or 9 fairway, any fairway, 11 fairway for that matter. So, you know, we did dry out a little bit and then it got cold and then we had that little bit of snow that kind of locked us out this week for that day. And then here we are again back into the rain. So, you know, the other courses that I contacted, Hunter, Stanley, Rockledge, they're all looking at Wednesday, Thursday of next week.
Tim Green.
Jerry, I understand what you're saying, and then I don't, because I play golf at different golf courses right now. All right. And I feel that we're just flat losing money where we could be taking in money. I got the temperature for Friday being 43 degrees, Saturday 55, Sunday 59. Okay. You're saying about cutting the greens. Do we really have to cut the greens, or can we just open the course up, get the people out to play, give them something to relax about? Because right now people are complaining. Okay. I mean, you got to understand they're paying their dues and they can't get out to play. There's a problem there.
Well,
and everybody.
my answer to that, Jim, is no. Do I have to cut the greens? No, I don't have to cut the greens.
Okay. So,
So my response to you is, well, the people are complaining. Well, are they complaining at Stanley? Are they complaining at Hunter? Are they complaining at Southington? Are they complaining at Rockledge? Because I'm not the shoreline. Okay, we're Central Connecticut. So, you know, I don't understand. You want us to go from snow or ice to open? And
no,
that's not going to happen.
No, I understand listen, but the point of it is, we're a public golf course, all right?
Yep.
Lyman's is, I don't know, semi-public or public,
Private.
semi-public, semi and public, okay? So they're open. I know Stanley's is not open. I know Hunter's not open, but do we have to go along with their term? Why can't we do our own thing, okay? Why can't we do. Because right now, the way I see it, if the private courses are closed, we can bring that revenue to our course.
No, we do our own thing. If I can't get a piece of equipment on the golf course, what do you want me to do? I am not God, okay? I can't make it dry up, you know.
No, but I understand. But the last few days, it's been windy out. A lot of stuff dried up, okay? A lot of stuff dried up. And you got to admit that a lot of stuff dried up because of the wind blowing, all right? But when you say a piece of equipment, what are you trying to put out there? A tank? I mean, I don't quite understand it. I mean, a mower is not going to be that there's not that much weight in a lawnmower. Okay. I mean,
you're putting a tractor out there with a blower. You're putting the golf carts with blowers on them. You know, you've got a lot of weight on a tractor.
Okay. So what are you blowing out there? Because for what I can see,
everything, the fairways, the tees, the greens, they all gets blown off.
Yeah, I understand, but for what I can see right now, I think the way I look at it, the course look like it's good enough to play golf on. I mean, there's no leaves or pile of leaves or anything out there.
No.
So I mean, so why can't we just open it up, go with the way it goes, okay, and get that revenue, bring it in?
Well, I don't, I'm not going to pay overtime this weekend. I'm not doing that.
But
And I couldn't even get a cup cutter in to change the cups this week.
okay,
Greens were frozen.
we like they said, we don't have to pay the overtime, okay? Because if you guys are coming in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
that's kind of early. That's kind of early. But why don't they just change the hours, come in at maybe 8 o'clock and work to 4 o'clock?
Because we have to stay ahead of the golfers, Jim. You know as well as I do. Once you get caught, everything shuts down. You get a lot less productive when you've got to wait for golfers. You know that.
But I'm saying right now, you're saying that we can't open up. Why didn't they change?
Because the course wasn't any drier at 4 than it was at 2 or 1. Okay, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
But if you're bringing people in at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, what are you doing in between?
What do you mean in between?
Yeah, what are you doing at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning?
We're finishing up what we have to do to get.
What is that? What is
What is
that?
that? We're finishing up. We're finishing up with the equipment repair. Okay, we're painting. We're repairing. On and on.
And you got how many guys working?
One, myself and 2 others.
Well, you couldn't bring any other staff in to do the rest
Oh,
of
I'm
the work?
sorry. We got Joe, so that's myself and 3 others if you want to include Joe.
So you couldn't bring any other staff in to do the other outside work?
None of them are available right now. None of them are available. So,
Okay.
Hey, Jerry,
yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Jerry, any chance of opening up for 9 holes on the front side, walkers only,
On Tuesday.
Tuesday? All right,
Yeah,
all
I can
right.
do that. Mhm.
I mean, just to at least start it up and have the ability to have walkers out there.
I mean, there's no way I could have let cards go this weekend after this, right? No way.
And I agree
I
with
would
you.
have done.
I
I would have
agree
done
with
it.
you.
Yeah,
Nothing is growing. Nothing is going to repair itself. You would have chewed it up, and it would have cost you more to fix it than the money you took in. It wouldn't make sense.
yeah, and hearing from other golf courses,
Yeah.
they're doing the same thing with their carts too. If it's wet, they're not taking carts out there. So
And
No.
Jones course has not had one cart out yet. The Jones course at Lyman. They're only doing carts at the player course because it's higher. It's a higher elevation. So it's walking only on the Jones course, just so everyone's aware. Yes, Jim.
I played the Jones course yesterday, and there's carts out there.
That
Okay.
wasn't the case last week.
No,
they
but
must have
they're out.
And
They're
I'll
out
get.
there.
I'll guarantee you that won't be the case this weekend too.
Well,
over
it's
there.
it probably be car pass only, okay, because they do have car pass, okay, but they will probably be out there, But I just feel that Timberland should be open.
Jer-
Because
if you
I'm
can-
trying to figure out what's going on, what was being done over the winter.
We already beat that to death, Jerry. If we do walkers only or whatever, whatever we can do to get it sooner, the better. But okay, are we good?
All right,
with
well,
this?
hold on. I want to chime in because that's where
Go ahead, Mark.
I'd like to know at least 2 to 3 days ahead of time because obviously everybody has been calling me
Correct.
and they all want to know about Sunday. They want to know about next week. And if I want to be organized and structured in any way, I need to at least have a couple days to spread the word, make a tea time policy just real quick before we get into our real one and then go forward. So
Can a show of hands, who has a real problem with the course not opening till Wednesday?
I mean,
Two.
I think if you're under so much pressure to generate revenue, I think you're dropping the ball by not opening sooner if you can, even just to walkers. That's just my opinion. And I know there's a lot of pressure to make money. So I just want to throw that out there.
Jim, Norton.
Okay. How can I say this? It's make money, cover costs. Yes. But who would be the majority of players going out there? Say, even if we open on Monday or Tuesday, would they be the season pass holders? And how much money are you going to make? I mean, especially if there's no carts. And I agree with no carts, walkers only. So, yeah, CIP gets in there. How much do you think we would raise based upon non-pass holders? Using your best judgment, Mark.
We've only sold about 30 season passes. So
Okay.
I got to assume that it's at least 50-50 and probably more paid than season pass.
Fair enough.
Be
Thank you.
My opinion.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so Jerry, you and Mark should work that out, okay?
Yeah, and like Mark says, he needs time. You can't just say, hey, Mark, I'm opening tomorrow. It doesn't work that way.
Yep.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Jerry, Tuesday, could you open Tuesday for 9 holes? Maybe that'll appease some people.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't, like Seb was saying, I don't see why we couldn't do, and I'm not saying we couldn't even have carts on the front on Tuesday, but I need at least one day to get one side ready to truly open and open correctly. I do. It wasn't a great spring to where you didn't have a week's worth of, conditions where it was, conducive to getting stuff out there and getting the job done. We didn't. We were grinding stuff up until last week, and I couldn't have golfers out there with those guys working. I couldn't do it. And I couldn't do it anyhow because there was still snow and ice on the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Pete knows he was chasing geese and we had to come get him. So
yeah, I got
he
stuck.
knows how soft it was.
Guilty.
You know what? That's why I brought my dog up there, and he was chasing the geese too. So
Yeah, he doesn't do a good job as I do.
no, he doesn't, but he tries.
All right,
Yeah.
so,
I mean,
So-
we'll do the best. We will do the best. I will speak with Mark tomorrow. We'll come up with a plan. I don't see that as being an unreasonable date to shoot for. Would be Tuesday, at least on one side, to get them out there. And I'm not saying that we couldn't have carts on that front side Tuesday. I'm not saying that. Maybe we can, and then everything gets better.
Jim.
Jerry, one other question. Will the tent be open? Will the tent be up by April 2nd?
Nope,
That's Good Friday.
nope.
I mean, isn't that a crowd that we put in there on Good Friday? Because a lot of people are out of work and they want to play golf on Good Friday.
I
And
don't
we
see-
need that.
I
we
don't
need
see it
that-
happening. I don't see it happening. No.
We need that tent up for the restaurant because people want to sit outdoors.
Well,
And
They
what's
sit
the problem?
outside.
Can I just ask you why the problem? What's the problem? Why the tent's not up? Or what's going on with the tent?
well, Jim, because you can't stretch that vinyl, especially being older vinyl. You try and stretch that when it's 60 degrees up, put it up. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's hard enough when it's 70 or 75 to stretch it, to have it go into the channels to get it over. It's hard enough. You have to understand that vinyl is not new. It's a couple of years old already. As it ages, it shrinks. It does. So for me to put that up and risk a potential, like Bruce the Priest was saying, spring starts Saturday morning. He doesn't consider winter over until April 15th. You get a heavy wet snow. So now I got to put it up, to take it down, to put it up, because that will not hold a snow load. And you know as well as I, in the spring, it's a heavy wet snow.
Restaurant restrictions are eased as of tomorrow, aren't they, as well? And
Yes.
Ramsey's back room is now tables with a vinyl floor and everything else. So there's a lot more indoor seating now than there ever was there.
But the understanding that I'm getting is that what he's saying is that a lot of people want to sit on the outdoors than being indoors. And I mean, I think if he's paying his rent, I think he should have a right to have that tent up.
I'm
mean, that's just my opinion.
gonna defend Jerry on this one, only that I don't know of any tent that will be up on April 2nd on any golf course.
hey, Jerry, is that something that you guys put up, or is that something that we could get an outside vendor to put up?
No, we put it up, Sam.
All right,
We put it up and take it down.
okay.
Jim Norton.
Jerry, I think your point's very well taken. That we don't know what's going to happen come the next couple weeks, and snowfalls are going to happen. I mean, and they will. Now, wet snow. If you have to take that down in the snow. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you were to get a heavy wet snow, Jim, it's not rated for that kind of weight. It's not.
What could it hold? An inch at the most?
Heavy wet snow, I would
Yeah.
say at best, you'd be able to put 2 inches on top. And
Yes.
if it were to stick, you'd be in deep, you would lose not only the vinyl itself, you'd lose the frame. And now you're looking at what, 70, 80 grand?
Yeah, it just listen.
That
That's
doesn't
just
make sense to me.
no. I
Hey,
agree
Jim.
with you.
Jerry, how many people does it take to put up that tent?
You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How many employees will we have on April 2nd?
I'll get help. Don't
No,
worry.
I mean, but if we concentrate all that on putting up the tent, then what are you doing to the course, right? Nothing.
you.
So
Well, no, I mean, the
So-
tent, it's just something we do. We take it down, we put it
no,
up.
I get it.
We've
I
got-
get it. I don't.
We got
I-
a couple kids starting Monday,
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever. When's the earliest we ever put up the tent? In May, June, May. I
No,
think
we
it
didn't
was
have it
done.
up by May. I always worked April 15th. And once we get
Yeah.
beyond April 15th and we get a nice warm day, then I usually go.
Anything else with this? Good.
Yeah, I got a question, not on the tent, but on the starting time and to Mark. Hey, Mark, this weekend coming up, we're not going to have any golf, but Monday, Tuesday starts the tee time procedure for the following weekend. Is that something that you want to put in place, or is that going to be first come, first serve the following weekend?
I mean, in an ideal situation, I think Jerry and I will probably talk about this tomorrow, is to have a plan to kind of go as normal starting Monday for Saturday. Get an email out maybe Saturday morning with course opening info, starting time info. But I mean, ideally, I'd like to get to normal starting Monday for Saturday and then just moving along. I think it's realistic that'll happen based on just our discussion right now. In the course opening. So I'm sure Jerry and I will talk about that tomorrow, but that'll be the plan, but I'll communicate it out for sure.
Thank you.
And not only that, but it first come, first serve would be bedlam. It would be.
I don't
bedlam,
think you
so-
could do that just because it's too many people in one spot.
Correct.
I don't think we're setting a good.
That's right. That's right.
So
Gail?
Back to the tent for a minute. Last year when we were extending the season, we talked about renting or getting some heaters for out there. And I don't know what, if anything, happened about that. My guess is maybe nothing. And that would be perhaps a good thing, because in the spring you could have some cool nights, and just wondering what the status of that.
Gail, we can't put heaters under that tent.
No.
We can't put the tower heaters because the town absolutely will not allow those heaters. You may see them other places and they're getting away with it, but we're a municipality. I checked on it. Jerry checked on it.
Okay.
They absolutely will not allow any of those propane type heaters under the tent.
Okay, good to know. That's good to know. And they won't allow them under the portico either, probably, huh?
That I don't know about under the portico, because that's a wooden roof. I don't know, but that roof is very low. So
Yeah.
my guess would be that they wouldn't allow that either. This
Okay,
town,
good. Yeah, good
this
to
town
know.
has
Thank
some
you.
pretty strict codes there. But yeah, because it would be wonderful to have 4 or 5 of those heaters under that tent.
Well, with that being said, they do make heaters for tents. You can purchase them, and you would at least, if nothing else, take the chill out, and you would extend it on both ends of the season. But I'm going to say something, you may not like to hear it. That's not going to happen on our dime. Okay. If Ramsey wants it, then Ramsey can purchase them and he can heat them. And if and when Ramsey goes, he could take them with him. You're talking quite, when I checked into the cost of heating and or cooling, my gosh, it's a tremendous expense you would have to incur.
Again, I think this is all good information, because he, as we all know, he talks to a lot of different people. So I think if we have accurate information, like the town won't allow them, you're welcome to see if you can get any type of heater that the town would allow. Those are kind of important, consistent messages to give.
Mr. Norton.
I think the phrase "the town won't allow it" is not the right one. I think it's the fire marshal that you really want to use, because it's not the town itself, it's the fire code, right? Which is a lot different than saying, oh, it's just the town.
Well, yes,
For safety purposes.
Yes, technically it is the fire marshal for that, and it would be building inspector for something else, and whoever.
But we understand that, but it's just the town. But no, by code, and it's fire code.
But codes are by town, Jim. So
I understand.
So in a roundabout,
it's semantics, but I
yes, I hear you, Jim Green.
Pete, just one thing. Jerry, you said before that you would have to bring 5 or 6 people in. Okay, and like I said about the cleanup on the golf course now, where would these people be coming? Where would they be coming from that you're going to use to clean up the golf course? Where are they coming from?
Some of the kids that are returning from last year, the college kids, they're starting Monday. We've got 2 starting on Monday.
So it's all about the college kids that are coming.
That's correct. And then there's some that are not in college. They're just out and they're working. They're done with school. Yeah.
Okay. And so basically during the whole summer, we have to depend on these college kids being there and doing the work at the golf course, along with your crew, your guys that you have full time. Okay. So like I said before, you can't extend a golf course with the people that you have there, because there's no way you can do it if they're going on vacation and stuff. So this is why I think the whole thing has got to be changed. That's my opinion. I think the whole thing's got to be changed, because you can't run a golf course with people for summer help. So you need everybody there in the summertime. You need everybody on deck. Nobody can go on vacation, because this is the problem that we're having right now, because we've been shut down since November. And now you got to go out and you got to clean up open up for the first day. I mean, there's something wrong here.
All right, Jim, we've been through this. We can beat
but
this
Peter,
to
it's
death.
not the place. I understand what you're saying, but let's open the door, okay? We all talk about it, but we don't stand up to it. So let's do what we need to do. Let's be men about it, and let's step up to the plate.
Okay, Jimmy, we have the meeting with Peter. We have the
Yes,
meeting
go
with the
ahead,
town
go ahead,
council
Jim.
on April 1st. And that's a better forum for this than right here.
That
Okay.
is the only forum for this right now, Jim. It's that joint town
Correct.
council and golf commission meeting together. We have no authority to make any changes, Jim. You have to understand that.
I got you.
So you have to address that joint body, not us. Okay? Thank you though. Thank you for your input. All right.
You're quite welcome.
Account balances. T-sign account to be updated at the meeting.
Well, like I said, currently, before the 500 from Lady Niners, it's at 74.39. So we'll add the 500 in from the Lady Niners, and that'll increase it by that amount.
Okay.
And as far as CIP, we currently have $21,450.
Is that after all the stump grinding and everything?
That's
You
correct, yeah.
received the final bill from Distinctive?
Correct, yes.
Oh, good.
Is any of that encumbered, Jerry?
No, it's not, no.
And so, going back to old business, do we have a plan going forward for the CIP? What we're going to plan on doing with that?
Correct. If we were to, and we will, because I've already spoken to them and had them put us on the books for spring, when we do the 5-6 area of that tree line, that'll pretty much chew up the balance of that 21,000. There'll be approximately $5,000 left over as a little bit of a buffer when they're done with the 5-6 area.
Jerry, what are we doing over there? What are we going to do? We're going to sod the whole thing?
No, we're going to bring in material, grade it, and then hydroseed it.
Okay. And there's enough sun to make the grass grow over there now, you think?
There is now.
Okay.
There is now. Well, it's the 5-6 area, not the number 2 area.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Director's report. Go ahead.
Jerry,
Yeah,
I mean, and you listen, how can I just say, I'm just a normal homeowner. If you're gonna hydro seed that thing, doesn't that have to be maintained also?
In what
I mean, how you gonna
regard?
mow? How you gonna mow in there? I mean, it's like,
Oh, the rough mowers will get in there, no problem. We've thinned it out enough where it won't be an issue as far as mowing is concerned.
okay.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot of, how can I say this? It's like more sand traps. It's like you can't even keep up with it.
No, I mean, there are plans too, which I've already started to at least, I don't want to say implement, but there's a number of areas I want to have natural grass areas that are truly not in play. So why are we cutting them, which costs, labor, costs wear and tear on equipment and so forth. There's like I said, there's at least 3 or 4 areas right now where we can go to the tall fescue grasses, convert them to tall fescue, which is about a 3-year process. And it would save on labor, it would save on fuel, it would save on wear and tear on equipment. And quite honestly, aesthetically, I think it looks nicer. It looks nicer. And it's going to save on chemicals as well. So it's in my opinion, more and more courses are going that route because they don't have the labor.
The labor, yeah.
So they're converting a lot of their open space to natural grass. But it is a process, and you got to follow the process. And it's not overnight. It's a good 2 to 3 year process to truly do it and do it right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry, before you give your report, I'd like to bring the commission up to speed on where you stand and things like that, if you don't mind. Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay. Jerry is the interim director of golf, but Jerry does not want to be the full-time director of golf. Okay. So he is helping out with that role while we figure out what is going to happen with the golf course after we meet jointly over the next several months. Okay. So that being said, if anyone has anything to say to Jerry or whatever, go through me, send me the emails or whatever, and I will be the point of contact for Jerry. Okay. Let's just make it easier that way. So again, Jerry wants to cut grass and do what he's got to do out there and run the golf course from a superintendent perspective, not from a white collar perspective. Is that fair enough, Jerry, to say?
Yes, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So, I don't think there's anybody on the commission that disagrees that we don't need a full-time director of golf. We just don't. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. There is the financials and the budgets and things like that. We'll figure all that out. But what we need are people out on the golf course to make it green, to keep it green, and things of that nature. And so Jerry does, now that you know that, I just want you to be aware. So we'll take up things with the joint committees, with the town council and the golf commission. Jim Green, your specific points are exact. That's the forum where they should be addressed. Okay, and believe me, we all understand what you're saying and things of that nature too. So, okay. That being said, Jerry, your director's report. Thanks.
Peter, can I just
Yes.
say something?
Yes, Nancy.
I just want to say that Jerry has done a phenomenal job taking over and taking on the responsibility of the maintenance as well as the position of director, and he's done a great job.
I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree with you more. Sorry.
He lost some hair through it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, Jim? Is it cut off again?
So, he didn't inherit the best of conditions. We all know that. So we'll just leave it at that. All right. But Jerry, thank you. And go ahead.
All right, I just got 10 bullets, so pretty much self-explanatory. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Distinctive is done. Grindings are cleaned up. Now we're working to repair the areas that they disrupted. The 2 major areas are the number 11 green 12T area And the second area is the number 12T behind or back of 12T, where we took down a number of pines. We also took down a couple, 3 big pines over at the new 17T, which really opened up that area. I think it looks phenomenal from the tee box, as well as looking back from the fairway. So we'll be, again, that's one of the areas, that 14, 15, 17 area, that I'd like to see go to natural grass. Again, why? Why do you cut it? Why are you wasting your time and money on it? And it would look a lot better. We're wrapping up the winter service. We just had a very important piece, just decided didn't want to work in the past couple of days, so we had to get a fuel pump for that. That's back up and running. We received the majority of our chemicals for the upcoming season, and now we need to process them and get them into the chem shed and organized. We began the course cleanup, but again, the weather hasn't been conducive to really getting out and on a consistent basis and getting things done. The bunkers were still frozen. The greens were frozen. They were frozen. We were going to try and cut cups yesterday, and we couldn't get a cup cutter in. So we went out today, we stuck them, and today they've thawed enough where you can get the cup cutter all the way down. So we'll be doing that in earnest starting on Monday, and we do have a couple more people starting Monday as well. New irrigation computer has been installed. It's up and operating, which is huge. It's very big, and I've started diagnosing potential problems on the course. I could do that without having water now with this new computer, and any of my electrical problems, I've started diagnosing them and identifying them, and I actually have a list. So that's good. I can actually get out on the course and start repairing without any water. We did install 2 security cameras up at the clubhouse. One of them is pointing at the number 10T, the starter shack, and quite a ways down the number 1 fairway. Hopefully, again, finances being what they are, and I was talking with Mark, we just don't have the money right now to employ somebody in the evenings. So hopefully, this would, I don't know if we can catch a couple of people or discourage people. I don't know. But the other camera is facing the cart corral because of, it should have been done a long time ago. We've got a lot of money sitting in that square, and it wouldn't take much for somebody to back up a trailer and take a cart or two. So with the new camera and its resolution, it's pretty darn good, and we'd be able to see most likely even a license plate. So those are up and running. And then I developed the 2021 chemical program for the course, tees, greens, and fairways. So that Bible is done. As you know, we retained Tyndall, and I did visit a number of local superintendents to institute an equipment sharing program. And I've talked to the 2 that are willing to do it that are local would be Rockledge and Weathersfield, and both superintendents were very receptive to the idea, and I am in hopes of continuing and developing a good relationship with them. If we have something, they can use it, and if they have something, we can use it, which will help us. As you know, capital is not flowing right now, so we need to make the best with what we've got, as well as reach out to others and hopefully utilize their equipment. And then again, the repairs on 11 and 12.
Hey, Jerry, what kind of equipment will we be talking about?
Well, at Weathersfield and Rockledge, we're talking about a tractor that would allow us to pull the deep tine aerifier. They do have, Weathersfield does have chipper and a stump grinder. I'm reluctant to do the stump grinder, especially, and for that matter, the chipper, because if something were to go wrong, they are expensive to repair, very expensive. I don't know that I want to take on that liability. And I don't know that their greens committee at Weathersfield would even allow it. So the tractor is pretty much a done deal. Tim Nadeau over at Rockledge said the same thing. If we needed a tractor for our deep tine, he would let us use his. And we would reciprocate by sending over, because he doesn't have a deep tine attachment. We would reciprocate by having our deep tine go over there and he can punch his greens. So, something like that, I'm okay with, but when you get into the high dollar stuff, the chippers, the stump grinders and so forth, I don't know. That's an awful big responsibility to take on.
Okay.
How are you going to get
Hey,
it to the
Go ahead,
course?
We
Jim
work-
Norton.
Yeah, Jim, we work with our public grounds, and in the past, they've allowed us to use a pickup and a trailer. So we'll go over to Weathersfield and or Rockledge and pick it up and move it.
Sebi.
Yeah, hey, Jerry, I was out on the course last week and I do like the view over there on 14 and 8 and 9. Nice job over there taking those trees down. I thought they did a great job. The other question that I have for putting out pins next week on a golf course, will you utilize the pins that we had last year where you can lift it up with the putter?
Absolutely. I don't want to go
Okay.
away from that just yet. Not
Okay.
yet. And that works very well. I don't know that we would ever go, and we'll have to see as we get past this what the public wants. But I'm really very satisfied with the pullers that we have at this time. I am.
Somebody found a good one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. No,
Jim Green.
Hey, Jerry, the town doesn't have a stump grinder?
no, they do not.
That's interesting.
No.
Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
Jerry,
Seb-
one more question I have, Peter. Jerry, depending on what the CSGA comes out with the protocol for COVID, I don't know if there's going to be a chance to put ball washers out there this year.
Everybody that I've talked to, actually, the courses that I've talked to are even more aggressive than we are in that they do not see ball washers going back out this year, at least right now.
Yep.
I do know. Oh, who was it? Oh, a Hunter said he wasn't putting rakes out, and he hadn't put them back out since the beginning of the pandemic, but he wasn't planning on putting them back out to start the season. Now that may change 2 or 3 months from now, but to get going, most people are even more conservative than we are in that, no ball washers, no divot boxes, no rakes, and I'm not saying that's everybody. That's just
Yep.
a handful of people I spoke with, and I can't speak for everyone, and Stanley may put rakes out. I do know, like I said, down at Hunter, he's not planning on putting rakes out, at least to begin the season. Ball washers, no. Drinking fountains, no. Nothing like that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anything else for Jerry? Okay, good. All right. Mark, your mic on?
All right. I'll just run through my report. If you have any questions, let me know. The golf course was closed during the month of February, as everybody knows. The website's been updated. I sent a blast email out with our rate structure. Produced the season pass forms, and we started selling them in the shop. And like I said earlier, we've sold probably 30 or 40 of them. So my guess is that we're going to have a lot of season pass holders this year. I've gotten a lot of emails from people interested in our pass that I don't know who they are. So I think they're looking to come over and play. So that'll be a good thing. I got the high school schedules. Last year we didn't have high school golf, but this year we will. So they have probably 10 to 15 matches between the boys and the girls. They practice every day. They'll use the range. We'll fit them in when we can on the tee sheet during practice, but their matches, we do block the tee sheet for them. And we do track this, how many rounds they play. I attached the April calendar. We don't have too many events in April, but each month I'll send over the calendar and everybody can see what's going on. The leagues and outings, I sent out the contracts. I've received probably half of them back between the leagues and outings. But commitment wise, we did fill our league schedule. We actually added a few leagues. So we're going to have more leagues than we did last year. So that's a good thing. The only downside to that is that obviously weekday afternoons, there's going to be no room for regular play, but you can't have it both ways, I guess. So
That's right.
I, I, I book it up with the leagues. I haven't heard a whole lot of bad feedback over the last few years from season pass holders that do want to play on weekday afternoons, most of which are in a league, but there are some that want to come out after 5:30, 6 o'clock and get a few holes in, and they're able to do that still, but it's just obviously not going to be a 1 hour, 9-hole round behind the leagues, especially Sebi's.
Oh, no, wait, excuse me. It's the Monday. You got that wrong. It's the Monday Night League.
The Night of the Walking Dead.
It's the
forgot
Monday Night League.
That's
Listen.
Norton's league. I forgot.
No. Listen, I'm not slow. You know that.
So we've got, I just put out the information for some of our clinics, the Women in Wine, the junior clinics, and speed clinic that I'm running. And the Women in Wine clinics, I already have 25 signed up for April 19th in 2 days or 3 days. So it's going to be very popular. I don't know where I'm going to be able to cut it off because I like to have 8 instructors per, or 8 students per instructor. So I'm going to run out of instructors, but it's nice for obviously the instructional programs at Timberland and also Remsey because everybody gets a beverage voucher. So and these are all new players to the game that are some of which have joined leagues over the last couple of years. So it's good to introduce new players and see that there's a ton of interest there. I set the free lesson day. I'm going to run 3 of them this year. The first one's in May, and that'll basically be from 8 to 4 p.m. We'll have an instructor up there, whether it be me or the assistants, to just give free instruction to anybody who purchases range balls. So just something to raise awareness about. We're obviously trying to help anyone in the community with their golf game, but also could potentially pick up lessons for the assistants and whatnot. And it's just good public relations in general. We met with the marketing company, and I mean, Jerry and I are both very excited. I know everyone's kind of on the fence as to something new, but I think that it's going to be very well received when everybody gives it a chance. So I'm hoping you see after a month, we come to the next meeting. And if you're on social media now, you probably see some of the things they're doing already. But if you're not, you're going to get blast emails with newsletters and whatnot. And I think everyone's going to be very pleased with what's going on there. The staffing. So I've contacted most of the staff, and I'd say the majority are returning between the card attendant starters, golf shop. And what I'm trying to do is kind of have less staff members, but give them more hours. So just kind of be a little more efficient and not have to train too many people. So I like the team we have on board this year, and customer relations and customer service is going to be a very important thing to me this year. I love seeing the positive reviews on Google and some of the social media platforms. So if you get a chance, go on Google, check out the reviews. I mean, you're always going to get a couple negative, but the majority are positive, and we encourage people to review us just so we look good. Just going forward, starting to get some merchandise into the golf shop. I'm going to open the driving range when the course opens. Going to prep for the junior camp. So in the off season, I got US Kids Golf certified. So it's great. There's 8 levels of the program. So based on any skill level, basically a kid could be a beginner or somebody who's been playing for a few years. There is a booklet for them and a level for them to challenge them and get to the next level. So it's a really cool junior program that I'm excited to introduce this year. Other than that, I've met with the women's club, and they're going to use Golf Genius this year, just like the men's club do. So that's exciting for them. Give them live scoring, and I got to set up all those tournaments still. So other than that, I'm just going to do some of the regular stuff to prep for the season. I mean, I updated the point of sale system. I'm going to set up the tee sheet, send out a communication about tee times and how they're going to work this year, and maybe the change in the policy. And I guess my only concern going into the year is that we're going to have a lot of demand, and I'm going to demand my staff follow the tee time policy to a T. And I just feel like some people are going to get shut out. It's just going to happen. And I just want to be prepared for that. And I'm up for any suggestions you have. I mean, Jerry's worked to get our phone system working to the best of its abilities. But going in, I want to know that it's okay that I book multiple tee times for people. I want to know from the commission, what's okay and what's not okay. And we will follow that policy to a T. But I obviously need to know what it is. So if anybody wants to talk about that, I
Did we
think
put
we
a limit
should.
on that last year, Mark? Didn't we put a limit of 3? Was it 3?
I don't think you ever said any policy with any limit. You
We
just
did not.
changed. the
No, we did not.
policy.
Okay.
You can book 5 days in advance if you are a resident, and you can book 4 days if you are a non-resident. And that's pretty much the only change we implemented.
This is going to be interesting because I'm curious to see how many residents will book 5 days in advance and if that kind of fills up the tee sheet or not. Because
I think it will.
well, I think we will too. But as you know, the consensus is that a lot of residents don't use the golf course. So I'm just going to throw that piece out there. So this will be interesting to see what happens here. I'm excited about giving the residents a full day ahead of time, because if non-residents cannot get a tee time on the weekends, well, that kind of tells you that residents are all over this golf course, right? So that'll be interesting.
Now, the only complaint I did get already about this is that a season pass holder who's a non-resident feels like they paid their pass and they could potentially be shut out from getting any tee times that they like.
Interesting you were going to say that, because I was going to try to see if we can't get a non-resident season pass holder that 5-day tee time reservation as well, because you're right. They're buying a season pass, and I was going to throw that out there and ask you guys how you feel about that. They're committing to play Timberland as a non-resident. They spend money in the restaurant. They spend money in the golf shop. They're committed to Timberland 99%. I feel that they should get somewhat of a perk to get a tee time 5 days ahead with everybody else. I'll open the floor for opinion. Gail.
How many, about last year, non-resident season pass holders do we have, Mark, in total? I don't have it in front of me.
That in total, I would say approximately 50.
50.
But on the unlimited end, it was lower. It was like 15 total between senior and adult. Most were restricted non-resident passes. But we're definitely selling more this year.
Yeah.
There's no question. I can see it happening.
Restricted or unrestricted, Mark?
Both. We're
Well-
going to sell more season passes this year than I think many years past. That's my feeling.
Well, my thought, Peter, would be like to monitor it, because it's easy to open it. Once you open it, you can't close it. So maybe start with, as we've decided, the residents get the 5 days. And if, I don't know, my thought would be leave it that way, but then maybe get some feedback or see what the non-resident pass holders, if they're
Well-
still able to get times, and then again, you can always open it up.
And then there's the theory that knowing that they could book 5 days in advance, they're more likely to buy a season pass, right?
Right.
Knowing that they can book
Well,
5 days ahead.
I want to just chime in here that if you fill your course with season pass holders, that's all fine and dandy till about
Lose
June.
money.
And then you're not going to get the day-to-day and you're going to get killed. I mean, it's just because a lot of season pass holders do walk. Okay. And you're
Mark,
just,
we can't have it both ways, like you said, can we?
I know, I want to make sure that's clear.
Well, in the same token, let's think about this. Our season pass now is probably more competitive than there ever has been.
The non-resident. yes.
Non-resident, that's absolutely correct. And it's cheaper than Stanley, correct? It's cheaper than Hunter. It's cheaper than anybody around. So
Well, I think we made it. I think we made it right in line with everybody else, because Jerry, Mark,
It's
we
not-
were a little
I
more
think it's right in
expensive,
li-
weren't we?
It's right in.
You're
line
right in line.
with-
Yeah, you're right in line with everybody.
Yeah.
We'll
So
see.
$50, within $50.
We'll
So
see.
why can't we just open it up to them? I mean, I think it would be fair to open. I mean, they're paying more money than our season passes that people are in town. So just open it up to them. You know, it's going to be, you got to call in or come in anyways. I mean,
Well, you know what? I think we should
No.
put this on the agenda for next month. Let's
Agree.
table
I
it
like
until
Gail's
next month.
idea. Let's, because once you open it up, it's tough to pull it back. Let's put
Yep.
it that way.
Yeah, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
So let's monitor that, Mark, and let's see how many complaints you get at the golf shop. And I'm sure
I only got one complaint, but I wanted to at least address it and throw
Yeah,
it out.
but then
We haven't
again,
even opened yet,
then
so.
again, the golf season hasn't started, so we really don't know.
Yeah.
So you're right. Let's monitor. Gail, good idea. We'll monitor that. I mean, I kind of favor that they should. Now, on a different note, we did have a gentleman who always buys a restricted season pass, and he emailed a few of us, and he's disappointed that the restricted pass does not include Saturdays or Sundays after 1 any longer. It's strictly Monday through Friday. So I responded to him. I don't know. I know Mark responded as well. I don't know if Arosha responded or whatever, or Kevin Delaney, because that's who he emailed. But my response to him was, especially with the golf course being as full as it is, now blame the pandemic or not, last year was difficult to get a tee time. And the person who had an unrestricted, which is a unlimited senior pass, who paid $315 more, was stuck playing golf after 1 o'clock on weekends a lot, because they too could not get a tee time in the morning. So where's the benefit for the unlimited season pass senior versus a restricted season pass senior? So, if a guy who's paying $315 more has to play after 1, you know what I mean? There has to be some distinction. So that's and I tried to explain that to him. I said, and we looked at his play. He plays an awful lot. So, his best bet would be to just buy the unlimited, unrestricted senior pass, right? Does that make sense?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, Mark, I'm on social media all the time. I think Mark is doing a great job of keeping Timberland in people's faces. Mark has new clinics coming. He's always trying to invent different things to make it fresh. And we have I am the financial secretary on the men's club, so I handle all the renewals and the new members. This year is really weird because we're getting a lot of new members early before the course even opens. And I reach out to a lot of these guys at random and say, why us? And there are two reasons why they come to Timberland. One is the golf course layout and the conditions. And 2, because they feel that this is one of the friendliest golf courses that they go to. Okay, from the minute they get out of their car to the time they leave the restaurant, they have a positive experience, and that's why they want to play golf at Timberland. So we're doing something right. We're doing a lot of things right, and I think Mark and Jerry and the team and the whole team deserves credit. And so we're starting a new year, and let's all be supportive of everybody, okay? And we support each other, and we see what we can do here. But Mark, kudos, Jerry, kudos, and Commission, kudos. So let's have a good year.
Peter, I got a question.
I got to cut quite, yeah.
Okay, hold on, one at a time here. We're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna. Nancy, go ahead. Go ahead, Nancy.
I know that we had mentioned about the number of tee times that you can get when you call in. I personally don't think there should be a limit. As long as the people that are getting that are filling it and people are showing up and they're not being abused.
Well, we decided we did not put a limit on it yet. I mean, if it gets out of hand, we'll address it. Yeah.
But I'm just telling you that that's my feeling, because when the Lady Niners after their league ends, we get, 5 or 6 or 7 tee times. So I wouldn't want to see that
Hey,
change.
duly noted.
Only on Thursdays, you're all working.
You fill them too. You fill them.
If they're all filled and yeah, go ahead, Sebi. You had a question?
Hey, Mark, I noticed that you're starting a new league on Thursday night called the Public League. How's that work? Is that
Yeah,
any
that link
different?
that link doesn't work, by the way.
Oh, nice. Well, at any
I
rate,
forgot to tell you.
there's a company called Spark that's out of Orlando, and they're basically going to all public golf courses and offering to basically run a public league for us. We can charge them our league rate. They probably charge more than that because, I mean, they got to be in business somehow. But there are leagues at Southington Country Club, East Hartford, I want to say Goodwin, Quarry Ridge. And I had room on a Thursday at 5. So I thought, we don't really have a public league because I'm always getting emails, hey, I'd like to join a league during the week. And I'll just send them the contacts for our private leagues, but most of the time they don't get in because there's no room. So I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity to have no more workload on my part, really, other than booking it. And they run the entire league and they can offer a public league. So it's the first year we're doing it. I want to say they already have 12 members or something. Their goal is 20.
Wow.
So I think it's going to work out well.
Is this individual or can I pair up with like Jim Green or something?
It's a team thing, and you can be a season pass holder. So you and Jimmy can win that thing with his handicap. But we're gonna see how it goes. I mean, so far I was worried they weren't gonna get people. So
Is that mixed? Is that a mixed league? Can anybody join that, Mark?
Anybody can join it. Now here's another thing I talked to Ramsey about today. I'm gonna run a mixed league this year. I've gotten a lot of people come to me saying they want to play in one, but nobody wants to run it. So I basically picked maybe 8 Fridays throughout the year, and you don't have to commit to every one, but I'm gonna advertise it. But it'll be a mixed league where you tee off at 5, and there might be a season-long points race to actually, but every event's going to be separate. And I'm just in the process of building that now. And I think that'll be a popular thing just based on, everybody asking questions. Are we hosting a mixed league? So,
well, the past, those were fun.
Yeah, we used to do the mixed 9 and dimes, but this is going to be more like 2 times a month. And the more you play, the more points you can generate for kind of like a season long points league. You don't have to commit to every one.
Great.
So I'm in the process of doing that, but Ramsey's on board, and we have enough Fridays to do it. So
super.
Yeah.
So Mark, on the Spark League, is there a cost to join with the Spark link or?
No, it says it's free to join or register with them. I don't know what they're charging. They might be charging $26 because there's a league fee incorporated per round, and we're only charging 20. So. And I know they're letting season pass holders do it, but again, they're basically running their own private league, but it's open to the public. I guess it's the easiest way to describe it.
And they have a golfer from the Spark here, or how does that work? You would just submit your scorecard online, probably, right?
Yeah, I think it's all online. There's a Northeast representative of the company, but
gotcha.
I think it's all on your phone.
His name is Plug.
But again, it's the first year we're doing it, so I don't know how, I hope it works out.
Having all these leagues certainly cuts down the capability of sneaking on, right? Right, Jerry?
Until 7 p.m.
Mark can tell you a little story of the kids that snuck on already this year.
Yeah, I saw a guy hit a ball yesterday. I'm 13. So.
I'd be surprised if those kids come back into Burnley.
Oh yeah, we caught some kids already. I called Jerry. He went out there and took care of it. So they're already playing.
There you go.
I have a question, Peter, for Jerry and Mark. With the email blast with Comcast, has that stuff been worked out yet? Because Mark, I don't know what blast you're sending out, but I never got a rate blast.
Do you get the blast that I sent from another platform, like about the clinics and stuff?
Yes, I did.
Okay. we're gonna start sending, that's my platform I use with Square. This is kind of how I run my business, my golf shop business, but I'm finding more success sending them out that way
Okay.
than Golf Now. So it's been reaching more people.
Got
So
it.
Golf Now, what happened was when they did the transfer, they opted a lot of people out, I guess mistakenly. We have to go into every customer and opt them back in, and I don't even know if we can legally do that. So best bet is just use one platform, and it seems to be getting to more people. So when we start,
Okay.
we're just going to use that Square platform.
Thank you.
Joe or Jim, anything for you guys?
I want to hear from Joe.
I know. Joe, is your mic work or what?
No, it's working.
Okay,
I'm just-
there he
again,
is.
I
Peter,
thought he
I'm
was
just-
asleep. I thought something was a bobblehead over there.
No. He's taking all this in. I think he's going
No,
to
I think he's
erupt.
sleeping. You can't see his eyes.
He's going to
well, I'm
erupt
right
any
here.
meeting
Can
now.
you see? I am, Peter, I am sitting back and I'm taking all this in.
Yeah, boy, there you go.
Very
See?
lively discussion that we've had. over
He's
the past
being
hour.
educated. He's being educated. So,
Mr.
all right.
Pulcini,
Anything
I think
else?
Joe, did you just paint your picture there?
What's that?
Kid, nothing's moving on there. It's like,
See,
Oh,
I'm
there you
moving
go.
now. See it?
I have a question for Mr. Pulcini.
Yes.
Mr. Pulcini, are you related to the Pulcinis in Newington?
Yes.
Not Dave Pulcini.
You're being recorded, so no social security numbers,
yeah,
please.
No.
He's a distant cousin. Why is
There's a
that?
cousin?
Yep.
Why, now I see your face and I'm like, wow, you look a lot like the Pulcini.
Oh, well, I'll take that as a compliment that we all look alike. I fit into the family then.
Wonderful, wonderful
There you
family.
go.
Mr. and Mrs. Pulcini, the best, honestly.
Think
They
they're
were
very nice
wonderful.
people as well.
Yeah.
All right. Dana, thank you as always. You're the best. Anything else from anyone?
I will make a motion, Peter, to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All right. Seb sending a second. All right, you guys, all in favor? All right. And listen, April 1st is the joint meeting at the high school or via teleconference. But if you could make it live, that would be that. It's a big auditorium, so I don't think there'd be any problem there. Okay.
Very good.
And, all right, everybody, have a great evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye.
Yep.
All right.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
Yep.
Good night.
Bye-bye.